Hi everyone, my name is Harshit A. Goel. I am an author, a poet, a short story writer based out of New Delhi, India. For my full-time profession, I'm working as a brand development executive for a fintech firm, and the whole part of my profile is all creative work and all creative writing, copywriting. So I'm not really sure if my love for writing got me into this creative field or if getting into creative field is fueling my love for writing. But whichever way the equation is working, I'm absolutely fine with it. It's working great for me. Umbrella in the Sun, although it's my first project, it's my debut novel, published in association with Writers Pocket Publishing. But I have a bit of an experience publishing works of mine. A short story of mine, Together in It, was published in an anthology titled A Book Called Home, and a poem of mine, Lost Warrior, was published in an anthology, the Great Indian Anthology, Volume 1. Both of these anthologies were organized by Half Baked Beans. So, although short experience in terms of um, the number of works which I have published, or even in number of years, but it has been absolutely thrilling, absolutely amazing, and the most satisfying part of my life so far. And I cannot wait to see what more lies for me ahead. And so thank you NE8x for giving me this opportunity to connect with fellow authors and to connect with the whole world. I can't really say if my journey has been inspiring enough or if I can embed any knowledge onto other people. I mean, there are people who are far more experienced than I am here on this platform. But I would like to share a small incident or a small anecdote related with writing the book Umbrella in the Sun. So, the plot of Umbrella in the Sun was initially supposed to be a subplot in another book that I was working on at that time. It was a fantasy novel inspired by a bunch of stuff that I had recently read or that I had recently watched. So I had written a prologue, I had written 3 chapters for that fantasy novel, and the whole story of Umbrella and the Sun was supposed to be the story of one of the characters in that book. But it didn't work out. The fantasy novel, the idea got scrapped. I didn't like where it was going, and so I completely dropped that idea. Um, but the idea or the plot for Umbrella in the Sun had always stuck with me ever since I first read that FB post, which eventually inspired this book. But so I was very randomly discussing this whole thing with one of my friends, and he just mentioned that I should, if I like the idea so much, why not write an entire book on itself? Why wait so that it can be adapted as a subplot for another book? And funnily enough, I hadn't thought of that until then. And so I started working on the idea as an independent work, and the result was Umbrella in the Sun. So I guess the key takeaway from this is that if you have an idea, and if you connect with it, if it feels that it has something, if let's just say if your heart calls out to it, then do not ever give up on it. Eventually things do work out, and you never know, maybe your idea can win you the next Booker's Prize. And the Sun is a story about belief, it's a story about conviction, it's a story about following your heart, it's a story about perseverance in the face of adversity. I wouldn't say that it's a love story, but it's a story about love. But not the kind of love that needs 1,000 words spoken between two people to communicate their feelings. A love that blooms in distance, a love that grows in the absence of regular meetings, a love that grows in the absence of words, a love that can be realized by just by someone's presence with you. And it follows the story of a guy who has recently been dumped by his girlfriend, and so he's absolutely devastated. So his friends, they come up with a plan to lift his spirits up in the most boyish manner that they can. They come up with a plan to lift his spirits up, and they take him someplace, thinking that it might help Korang, but it does, but it not the way that they expected it to. He meets a girl there who feels that there is a connection, and the girl realizes that thing as well, but they have not acknowledged their feelings yet. But they do know that there is something there, but it's not a place where love can grow, it's not a place where love can blossom, so they need to get out of there. But now there are forces that are trying to stop them. There are people who are trying to get the girl. There are people who are trying to stop Korang from what he's trying to do. So it's a story of how they fight with those traversities, how their love journeys through these hard times, through these hardships, and do they end up together in the end or not. And it also talks about so many gray areas which I feel as a society don't really talk about in the open. It talks about sexual harassment, it talks about human trafficking, it talks about LGBT issues, and not on a societal level, but on a more personal level, how it affects a human being, how it affects someone as a person. All these issues, once we go through them, or once if we do experience it personally, how it affects us and how it affects our thinking and how it affects our mindset. So this is what the whole book is about. And if you I do have to ask you guys to go out and read the book, and if you have any comment or any feedback on the whole thing, on the whole book, Umbrella and the Sun, I would love to connect with you, and I would love to know those comments and those feedbacks. So do check out Umbrella and the Sun. It's available on Amazon, and you can also find it on the publisher's website, that is Writer's Pocket Publishing. You can find the book there as well, and can't wait to listen to your feedbacks. I would like to take this opportunity to thank NE8x for allowing me to share my thoughts and my experiences with the world, for inviting me to be a part of this community of such talented writers and such talented storytellers. I haven't had the chance to go through all of your works, but I have read about a few of your works, and I can't wait to read about all of them. I can't wait to read all of them, all the stories, all the books which you guys have written. Great job, kudos to you guys, and I just wish that you keep doing that for however long you want, or for however long you can. Publish an ebook, just go ahead and publish an ebook. If you want to publish a traditional pen and paper book, just go ahead and publish a paperback. If you want to go ahead with the route of an audiobook, just take that route of an audiobook, but do share your story with the whole world, because if no one, I cannot wait to read it. I cannot wait to read it, to experience it. So keep writing, just keep writing. And thank you once again, NE8x, for this opportunity. And thank you.